Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can
1, 2.
pay. 800
All right.
395
All right.
709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395. Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. We are excited to be here with you this lovely Friday the 13th. So with that being said, Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, just simply go to your store and download the Joco Community Radio app. You can download it on both the Apple and iOS stores. And you can listen to the full lineup and more, how you want and when you want, in addition to Jobfather Nation and Jobfather Radio. We're excited to be here with you. We do have an exciting lineup today, but before we get started, let's go ahead and say a quick word of prayer. Father God, we're just honored to be here to serve you and to serve the job seeker community. Help us to honor you and be able to be the hands and feet, helping those that are transitioning through the job seeker community and through job seeking. We thank you for the privilege of being here, and use us according to your will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, we are excited today. Foster, I know we have got a phenomenal guest, but before we hop into that, I do have some jobs to discuss. I wanted to see if you had any job opportunities and any landings you wanted to throw out there.
I definitely got landings. Good morning, everybody. I am back. Last Wednesday, you guys had to put up with the pretty girls. I wasn't here. And I was in the hospital getting a hernia surgery. Check that out. And so God is good, and I'm already on the mend and already back on the show. And hey, everybody. So I'm excited. I want to tell you guys about, I'm really excited. I got my brother with us today, my brother from another mother. I got Jules Ryckebusch right here with me.
Y'all look like twins.
We do, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Just like, yeah. We're right there in age to get. He's a year older than me, though.
Oh, don't throw him under the bus.
I know, I got thrown under the bus. Rude. That's what brothers do. So
that's true.
At any rate, yeah, Dana, Jules and I, yesterday, we witnessed three real powerful landings. I'm always telling you guys about landings, and then I'm going to I'm going to turn it over to you because we're going to talk about job openings, and who knows, maybe Jules has got a job he wants to tell us about it. Whatever, that's what we do here. We let everybody know on this show components of this network that we always talk about and why you guys ought to get involved in this network and all that stuff. Let's see. I see Derek is with us today. Derek Galindo. Hey, Derek, my main man, 50 grand over there.
So are
And
you going to share these landings?
are you gonna let me?
I want to.
He'll
I
get
had,
to it. He'll
I
get
had,
to it.
I had
I
to
was
get you
like,
on that.
I'm excited. I hear these powerful landings, and then I don't know where
You
we
guys
went.
know me. So, Dana, you might know a couple of these ladies. So
Really?
Liz Bouchard landed, and this is just out of Southlake Focus Group. That's going to be our topic today. We're going to be talking about Southlake Focus Group because we're both, me and Jules are leaders in the Southlake Focus Group. So Liz Bouchard landed. We've got Jody Hudson that landed. We've got, I
Ooh.
don't want to forget Devin Green. Devin was
Devin?
Devin's, yeah, we had Devin on the show, and
Yeah.
Devin was chasing Lockheed. That's a big hire company
Oh,
around
yeah.
here. That's a big deal around here in Dallas Fort Worth, you guys. So, hey Debbie. See, I get thrown off when people join us. I like to give a shout out. Charles Mitchell is listening. Thank you, Charles, for listening in. I will talk to you probably before the end of the day. Uh, and you know what? These three landings were key.
Oh,
They were just big ones, and
yeah.
I wanted to throw them in there. And real quick before we get to Jules, what you got, Dana, by way of job openings?
Well, I appreciate it, Foster, and thank you. You just got me so excited about these key landings, and I was like, I can't wait any longer. Tell me who they are. And I am just so happy. And this is what it's all about, right, Foster? All the networking, all of the
Right?
working together. I mean, it makes a difference, and the network got me through a hard time. And I can't thank you enough, Foster, for being
Yeah, I remember that.
faithful to
Yeah.
God and continuing to bless this network. So, and I don't know if everyone realizes this, but Foster's been approached many, many, many times to go back to corporate America full time, and
Yeah,
he's
that's true.
turned
Yeah.
turned down going back and a full salary to be able to serve this community. So I just want people to realize that, because that's a huge sacrifice and it's a lot of faith in the Lord. But with that being said, couple announcements. So thank you, Foster. Beacon Oral Specialist is growing and is hiring. We are looking for a senior financial analyst,
Oh,
especially one that has worked on financials for company integrations, etc. This is
uh,
a great organization. We're in Dallas. We're right near 635 and 75, full-time position. We're also hiring new position in the organization, director of compliance. I'm handling all these jobs, so feel free to reach out to me.
oh, cool.
Yeah, and then we're also hiring for a um, contract to hire IT project coordinator. We've got interviews started there, so that's very exciting.
Okay.
And we're looking for an HR business partner, must be based in California, because this person will be traveling primarily in California, maybe a little bit to Washington, Nevada, etc. So we are looking for a full-time HR business partner in California, so that they're close to where their day in and day out work is.
Right. Yeah.
And then I wanted to say and direct everyone, please do not forget that if you are interested in showcasing your openings on this show, please reach out to Foster Williams. Everybody knows the Jobfather. It's very affordable and it's a great way to get exposure
Yes.
nationwide. We have a nationwide listeners and we have international listeners.
Yes.
Also,
Well, yeah,
please
we do.
don't yeah, and please don't forget Foster has openings. Please don't forget he works on numerous openings, including Foster. Don't you have one for a recruiter right now?
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to help someone with a recruiter, in-house recruiter. It is remote, so you guys in California, you guys in Washington, you guys in New York, if you are without a recruiting job, give me a call. We talk about it. And
Yeah.
that was the one. It's funny that you picked that one because that was the one thing I was going to talk about today, Dana. We really appreciate you. What you do for this would not be a Jobfather radio show if it
Aw.
wasn't for Dana and Maz. And we love our Maz. She was with you guys last week. She didn't look too much like me, but she did a whole lot better than I do. So, Maz, we're glad to have you with us. We love you.
Yes, we
All right,
do. We
now
do.
with all of that said, let's get down to business. That good looking dude down there, he's got a radio voice. That is my brother from another mother, Jules Ryckebusch. He is one of our leaders at Southlake Focus Group. We're always telling you guys about this network, and we're always talking about Southlake Focus Group and Frisco Connect and the special interest groups and all that stuff. Well, we're going to talk about Southlake Focus Group today, guys. Jules and I want you to visit southlakefocusgroup.com. Check us out. We meet every Thursday. Thursday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now that's Central Standard Time, guys. Now, you guys out on the East Coast, it's a little bit easier for you because it's 9 o'clock for you guys. But you guys in California, I'm sorry, y'all got to get up a little early. But Jules, let's you and I talk about Southlake. We're going to talk about some of the things that we see, you and I see at Southlake, and some of the reasons why we think people ought to join in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks, Foster. It's really good to be here, and Dana, thanks for having me as well. It's Southlake Focus Group is really interesting. It's a professional networking career transition group, focused on helping job seekers just get back into the workforce.
Yeah,
and I'm an alumni. I have a really interesting career. I'm retired now, although I got a little bit of a startup thing going on. So I was one of those lucky people that I did 20 years in the Navy. And then I found and landed a job before I actually retired from the Navy. So started a second career in medical devices with Stryker. And then 15 and a half years later, my job was eliminated. And I found myself in my 50s for the first time in many, many years looking for a job. So I came to Southlake Focus Group, and that's where I kind of first met Foster and some of the other people there. But it gave me everything that I needed that it was missing, because as we all know, job hunting is really easy. There's just, it's real simple steps. You put a resume together, you apply for a job, they phone you, you get an interview, and then you get an offer, right? Like that's how that all works, right? Although that process may take, a year or more. And that was my journey with Southlake Focus Group. I came in, thought my resume was perfect, because of course I'm this massively skilled person, and I just threw it all down on a piece of paper. And then I got some tips and tricks with it. And I learned for the first time in life about something called an applicant tracking system. We can talk about that one for a little bit, right?
Oh, that, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Those
that little piece.
ATSs.
Yeah. But it impacted my life so much that, we're going to talk about networking. That's the whole purpose of it. But to me, it's all about people and relationships. And I met some lifelong friends coming through that group. And, one of the things I've learned throughout life is don't burn any bridges, stay in touch, because you never know where that next opportunity is going to come from.
Never know.
And my favorite thing with this, and I've heard you say it many times, Foster, and it's true. It's not who you know, it's who knows you or knows of you.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So we'll get, there's different, a whole broad group of people that come in to Southlake Focus Group. And, what you'll see initially is someone's like, oh, I'm in accounting, or I'm in finance, or I'm in HR. And they want to either only talk to the other people that do those job functions, or I've seen the opposite. They're like, no, I don't want to get near anyone else in HR because they're competing for the same jobs I'm looking for or something.
Right.
But what we've seen time and time again is like you network in and talk to someone in HR, and it's an eye opener for people to realize if you have a friend that's in HR, they can probably give you tips and trips and tell you what's going on. And so all those things tie together, and it's a huge, really good group of people whose sole function is to help people get back into the workplace as soon as possible and help out. and we've all been there. So we're kind of like members of the tribe when it comes to that.
Well, do you know Judy? She
Oh, yeah.
volunteers. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Judy's working with me right now. She
Is she really? Well, she
Yeah.
should. Yeah, both of
She
you guys in
reached
healthcare.
Well, she reached out to me, and during my time of unemployment, and I had some questions for me, and then we decided to meet for coffee. And then I had a
Oh,
temp
yeah.
position come up here, and reached out to Judy right away. And she's been here. It was supposed to be like a 2-week temp contract, and so far she's been here about a month and a half already. So working contract and doing a great job. So the reason I brought that up is because Judy is a volunteer and part
Right.
of the Southlake Focus Group family.
Big part.
Oh, yeah.
And she is very much a she's very much a listener, and she took the advice that she's learned through Southlake Focus Group, some of the things Jules was mentioning, and opened doors for herself by being proactive, and I'm really proud of her for that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought Judy up. I wanted to bring Judy up. Judy is a buddy of me and Jules. And in this group, guys, you'll come out. It's a big old group of people. We're over 100 people now. And Judy announces the people that have landed. She really makes it personal. We're like a big family. At least that's the way I see it. And
Yeah.
Judy will get up in front of everybody and she will do the interlocking fingers to represent networking. And Dana, everybody's learned how to do that. So when Judy gets up there, everybody goes like that.
I love
It
it.
is pretty cool. We get together, we go over basic housekeeping. We got recruiters that come out and they're looking to hire for certain jobs. So we have them stand up in front of the crowd and say, hey, I'm Junior Johnson and I'm looking for this, that, or I'm just making up a name, y'all. But you know what? That's the way it works. We connect. There's 100 people in there, and you might be thinking, Foster, why are you encouraging us to come out amongst people that don't have jobs? Well, you know what? Everybody knows somebody. Everybody's got a network, whether you want to admit it or not.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and Dana might come out and has before come out and say, I'm Dana Dane. No, I'm no kidding. I'm Dana Gingerich. And I am a senior recruiting manager. And there might be somebody in there that talks to somebody and says, you know what we need? We need a recruiting manager. We need somebody to manage our recruiters over here,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And
Yeah.
you just never know. Like Dana said earlier, you just never know. But we have Judy, who has been a very, very senior executive in the healthcare arena. And
Yeah.
she has a whenever you're in healthcare, you're talking Foster, you're in healthcare. The first person I'm going to connect you with is a lady named Jude, and her last name is Wardle, Wardle. And actually, her daughter-in-law is listening to us right now. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. Oh gosh, Sarah's probably
Sarah.
thinking I'm crazy. I am so
You are
sorry.
crazy.
I know. I didn't mean to say Judy. I meant Jeanette.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but Judy's amazing. I've gone
Judy's
to
amazing.
her Southlake, the healthcare one for years, and I've spoken there. And Judy Wardle's amazing. But y'all know Jeanette. She is a volunteer for specifically the Southlake Focus Group. Yeah. So Judy is Judy. I don't know why I said Judy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was wondering about that one.
Yeah, you just went with it, didn't you? He's like, no, it's
blonde,
Jeanette. Yeah, that too. Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. It's Jeanette, and Jeanette's been here. She reached out to me during my my transition of unemployment, and we met. And then I was blessed to land here at Beacon Oral Specialists, and then we had a contract position. So she's here, and I don't know why I said Jeanette. I apologize.
That happens to me all the time. People are used to it.
Yeah. I didn't mean Judy as in Judy Wardle.
And Judy that we're talking about, guys, her first name is spelled Jude.
And she's
so you
awesome.
might say Jude. It's not. You can call her Jude. She'll answer, but it's
Judy.
Judy. Absolutely.
She'll know that you don't know her if you call her
yes,
Judy.
Boy,
exactly.
that's the truth. Now, that is the truth. But once you meet Judy, believe me, you're family. And she'll treat it that way. And the same thing goes with me. And the same thing goes with Jules as well. we've got this dad joke thing that we like to text.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got a mass text between 3 or 4 of us.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Go ahead, Jules.
I want to bring something up that you touched on, and to me, it's the most important part of Southlake Focus Group. Is the fact, you said, why would I want to come out and be with a bunch of people who don't have a job?
Right.
What I found, and I'll joke about this a little bit, it's kind of like a little bit like an AA meeting. Everyone is there for the same reason. They don't have a job and they're all from different backgrounds and they're trying to find it. And I needed that when I came through. After my job search kind of kept going on and I was getting interviews and doing things and still wasn't landing, all of my friends who were employed, just kind of, I really didn't feel like I could talk to them not talk to them, but like specifically about the job hunt, and what's going on and how I felt. And coming into Southlake, there's my tribe. They're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because there's a couple things that people don't realize in this. And one of the things we try and do is get everyone's self-confidence back up. Just because like Friday that you had a job and you had a title and that was it. And then Monday comes along and you don't, you're still the same person. You're still valuable.
Yes.
You're still important. But deep inside you're going to feel wounded. It's on par with, a life-changing event, a death in the family, a divorce, something like that. But sometimes the outside world doesn't, see it that way. So, and it's a critical piece to it. And then one of the other things people think sometimes is like, especially if the time drags on a little bit, they're like, why would someone hire me? I don't have a job. And what people fail to realize, and I saw this with J&J, and it was actually to my benefit when I landed there. If you're not currently employed, you're easier to hire. They don't have to worry about like, non-compete or when you're going to tell your employer or whatever.
Yeah.
And in my case, I actually got a better role than the original one I interviewed for. When they read my non-compete with Stryker, they're like, oh, okay, well, how'd you like to go do this? Because this is what we really want you for. And they got me into the arthroscopy camera systems, which is, visualization, which I did. And I loved it. So
awesome.
So it's kind of, coming out, build your self-confidence back up. We have these networking rooms and we, teach people to do their 10-second intro. Right. And I could probably give Judy Wardle's because I've heard it a million times, and exactly the way that she does it. But you'll have people that haven't done this in years or, kids right out of college that haven't thought about how to put something like that together, and people will practice it and they'll stumble. And then you'll see, like the next week they get better with it and better, and their self-confidence comes back. And that comes across during job interviews. You
it
need
does.
that big time.
Yeah,
So.
it really does. I love that y'all do work on that because it's a real thing. Like you said, it is traumatizing to go through a job transition.
Yeah.
And building confidence and understanding that your job does not define you. God does. And you're full of value, whether you're working for any particular company or not working for any particular company.
And if you guys got laid off, if you're a project manager, you hadn't forgot how to project manage.
Yeah,
you hadn't forgot how to, if you're a programmer, you hadn't forgot how to program. I'm glad that Jules said that. And one more thing that I want to piggyback on what I'm always piggybacking on what Jules say, because Jules is a lot smarter than I am. So, guys, we a lot of times we find and people find the network because they've been laid off. Guys, that is a financial decision that a lot of companies make, and it's got nothing to do with you or your performance. So do not, and I do mean do not. Well, let me say it again. Y'all stop it. I'm gonna fuss a little bit, but stop letting this stuff get to you. If you didn't have anything to do with you being laid off, don't come dragging in Southlake Focus Group and presenting yourself like this. Yes, it is. We will pray. We do have sympathy for what happened to you, but you are the same person. When Dana didn't have a job, it was tough. But I reminded Dana the whole time, Dana, you are still that talent acquisition leader, baby, and somebody's going to hire you. Now, this is another thing. I have not seen one person come through the network, and I've been doing this 25 years. I have not seen one person come through the network that did not get a job. So Eventually, it's coming.
It's going to happen.
So y'all keep your foot on the gas. That was my message yesterday at Southlake Focus Group. Keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah, and just remember, if that job didn't open, then that wasn't your assignment. That's not
Boy,
what
that's
God
the
had
truth.
for you next. So the right door will open. You have to trust the Lord in that. And if it closed, if the door closed, that wasn't your assignment. And if you look at it that way and you have true trust and you trust and lean not on your own understanding,
Oh boy,
then
that's a
then
big
you'll
one.
have some peace. And that's what helped get me through, because there were a lot of doors that opened but opened but didn't allow me to go through. And I couldn't understand why. The interviews went great, things were great. Well, they weren't my assignment. And this is where God intended me to be right now, and I love where I'm at. And I'm very humbly thankful. So again, just remember.
During the meeting at Southlake Focus Group, Dana, Jules gets up and he says, guys, I want to tell you, you all should have target companies. According to what you've done, there may be specific companies out there that you might want to work that might have a job posting there. Go check them out. Go and develop. Here's my word. Dana, here we go.
Relationships.
Relationships. Yes.
Jules tells us every week, and he facilitates us talking about what our connections are to specific companies and all that sort of thing. And so, Jules, you want to talk a little bit about the meat of that?
Yeah, Foster, that's a really, really good topic.
And Jules, just so you know, we have 2 minutes. So wherever we leave off, we'll pick up where you left off.
Okay, perfect. So real quick story. I love connections, making connections and connecting people. And I see, Foster, you are the king of it. You'll like meet someone, hear a little piece of info, and that goes in the file system. And then it comes out later when needed. So
I know.
It does. It's great. But we'll have people come in, mid-career, I don't want to get into the age thing or whatever. And the worst thing that you can say when you're job hunting is, I'm a project manager, I'm finance, I'm this, I'm HR. And then they follow that. The next statement is I'm industry agnostic, because in their mind, they can work anywhere, right?
In their mind, yeah.
Right. Companies need people for specific roles, and the companies are biased by the fact that they're looking for, if they run a warehouse and they supply, Rainbird and plumbing fittings, they think they need someone that's done that before, right? So back to what you asked me is the connection for the, of getting people connected with information interviews and in the companies. As you're looking for a job and you narrow it on your target companies, the best thing you can do is try and find an inside contact. And it's, what is the company like? What things are going on there? Are you a cultural fit? So, Danny, you hit some things on the head too, with like these doors opened, but you didn't walk through them. That happened to me a lot in my job transition. I interviewed like 10 times, and then I had 10 interviews where I flew out to, and there was multiple interviews for different roles at 4 companies. And for whatever reason, I didn't get those. And, I'm not looking at that as being on me all the time. It was a big letdown. But that's where these informational interviews can really help. And the thing that surprises me is I'll get up in front of the room and say, who has a target company? And not everyone raises their hands. If you are job hunting and you're not even if you're right out of college, like you should have some rough idea of what you want to do and where you want to go, and then find companies that do that.
Absolutely. Well, I hear the music.
Jules, let's pick right back up when we come back. I'm going to give you guys the dad joke of the day when we get back. And then we're going to pick right back up where we are, because we're getting into the meat of the matter now.
We'll see you at the second half, family.
See you second half.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Hello, Jobfather Nation. Just a reminder, we are proud to be a part of Joco Community Radio, the voice of Johnson County, Texas.
That's right.
And Joco Community Radio is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network app. To download, simply go to your Apple or iOS store. It's free. You can listen to your lineup, whatever shows that you like most. Of course, we know the Jobfather's in that mix.
Oh, yeah. We got
Yeah.
24/7 shows on this.
That's right.
Yeah.
So check it out. We're excited to be part of the Joco Community Radio family. Well, Foster, I think we really had a good first half, and I'm really excited to hear more about the Southlake Focus Group. And we'll let Jules hop in a second. But I wanted to say, I've attended numerous times the Southlake Focus Group and always have been really impressed with the people, the individuals. It's been a privilege to speak there and a great group of individuals.
I promised you guys a dad joke when I got back, right?
Oh, boy.
So let's hear it, Foster.
This is because actually Jules might remember this one, but because we're me and Jules and Judy and we share these things each and every day, it seems like now. But guys, my daughter, Miss Hannah Banana, came by to see Dad yesterday. She and Tony, her friend, and we had a good time. They came by, check on Dad, make sure that Dad was doing okay. Dad got an operation. That's not cool. I need to go check on Dad. Hannah, I love you. Happy birthday, baby. It's Hannah's birthday, Dana.
Happy birthday, Hannah.
Happy birthday, the banana. And so I was sitting there thinking, because Hannah and I used to go when she was a little girl. She's 32 now, guys. She's a corporate professional now. But
I know it.
When we would go, and we've got Halloween coming up, Hannah and I would go trick-or-treating. And so we would see all the costumes, and Hannah would be different little things. It was so fun. But do you guys know what ghosts wear when they go trick-or-treating? Think real hard, y'all. Think real hard. Think real hard. I'm going to break out the answer. Boo jeans. It's simple.
I was trying to think boo. I was going through everything in my head. Boo, 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 what? And I was like, okay, I know one thing I could say, and Foster better not say it on the show. So I was I just didn't know.
I'm sworn to silence.
So Foster, I have one quick question on that. When does a joke become a dad joke?
That's a good question.
When it becomes apparent.
When it becomes apparent, and when people stop laughing and they start rolling their eyes in their
Jules,
head, it's a
All
dad joke.
right.
Get that one.
All right. So
that's good, isn't it?
Let's get back.
Let's jump back into it. Come on.
So one of the things I want, we were talking about target companies and getting informational interviews. And I want to roll this back to one of our landers from this past week, Liz Bouchard.
Oh
So
yeah.
here's the background with Liz. Liz worked for me at Stryker in international marketing.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
So she, always thought very highly of her. She's fantastic. We traveled to multiple countries together. And she was working for Abbott Labs after Stryker, and I would reach out to her a couple times here and there to, hey, there's someone I know that's interested in Abbott. Would you mind talking to them, kind of thing? And she did that once or twice. So last December-ish or so, I met her for lunch, and to fill her in a little bit of why I kept calling her for information interviews and Southlake Focus Group and what I was doing. And when I met her for lunch, she had made the decision to leave Abbott because things weren't working out, and she just wasn't. It wasn't what she wanted to do. I won't get into specifics. It was her time, and she was going to go back to school and take a break and all this, and wasn't really going to job hunt for a little while. And after telling her about Southlake Focus Group, she came in and was immediately did all the stuff that we mentioned and helped people with, got a resume going, did some practice interviews, all this. And she had a couple real close job things didn't land. And then, then she just landed on something that sounds really, really interesting. It's healthcare related, but it's more in a consulting fashion for a consulting company that's just spinning up a healthcare part of it. So super excited for her. And, that's one of those things where I've kept in touch with the people that I've, used to work with and constantly reach out. And, it's those connections.
It is
that find things out. And I'll have some people come and they'll, it's funny. The other piece to the information interview, and I know you know this, Foster, when someone comes up to me and says, hey, I want a sales job at Stryker, or do you know someone at J&J? Can you get me connected? I'm the gatekeeper on that. I'm almost doing like the initial pre-screening of like, am I going to put my reputation on the line and send this person through? And there's been once or twice where I've done that the person's called me and said like, dude, I'm really busy. Like, please don't send anyone like that to me ever again. And I was like, and I took a risk with it. But on a positive note, it gives you a chance to talk to some of the company, see what's going on, find things out you might not know. Maybe the person's like, hey, I know you're looking for a job in operations, and like, that part of the company is kind of a train wreck right now, and you probably don't want to get a job there. Or,
that's the truth.
Or it could be, hey, like oh my gosh, like perfect timing. They need a new ops manager, send your resume over. Let me get in front of someone, so who knows where it'll all go, but getting your foot in the door, it's one more person you're going to meet and all that. So, it's the job hunting process is a challenge.
Yeah.
Real quick story. A friend of mine was an HR manager, senior HR manager at Stryker, and her through transition of stuff or reorganization, she left, and I had lunch with her a couple weeks ago, and she told me the best story. She's like sitting on the couch next to her teenage son, and she's on her computer filling out a job application, and her son's like, do you think they'll call you? And like, when do you think you get the interview? And she just started laughing, and she looked at her kid and she goes, I don't think you understand. I'm going to do this probably 80 or 100 times before I actually get a job. And her son was like, wow, like why? And she's like, there's so many reasons, and Dana, you touched on this too. Company has a hiring freeze, or, I'm convinced some of the interviews I flew out for, they brought in external people to interview, but they already knew who they wanted from an internal candidate, or who knows. So,
yeah.
But you got to stay positive, keep moving forward, and get those connections. The more information and interviews you get, the more you find out, the more information you have. And, it's interesting. We had someone come through. This is another great story. Because, some of the stuff we do at Southlake Focus Group, I joked about put a resume together, check, apply for a job, check, get the interview, and you're done. So, by Tuesday afternoon, you're all good to go. All of those things have to be done well and organized, like the resume part. And I still run into people that, their resume is kind of their ode to themselves of every single thing they've ever done in their entire life. No. Your resume has one function, one sole purpose, and that's to get you a phone call and an interview.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and then the interviewing, we have had people come in and, they haven't interviewed in a long time. I was like that. I know I got better at all the interviews I did. And we refer people out to the Dallas Pit Crew. We can do some practice interviews ourselves. And it's interesting. It's not and this is what people fail to think of sometimes. If your skill set matches your resume, they've already decided that you have the talent and the skills needed for the role.
That's right.
Now they just want to talk to you and find out, like, do I like you? Will you fit into the culture here?
Are you weird?
Yeah, I wasn't going to go there, but yeah. So here's a great story. My oldest son is a pilot for Delta Airlines. He's in the Navy, and no, that's Chris.
Oh, this is Chris. Okay.
Evan's up in New York City working. He got a job up there. That's a great story as well. But anyway, so Chris helps people that get out of the military, transition out of the military and land a job with the major airlines. And I was, so I was talking to him about the interview and how that all goes. And he kind of looked at me, and it's so true. He says, Dad, he says, if you've flown a helicopter or an airplane in the Marines, the Army, the Air Force, or the Navy for 10 years or more, we already know you can fly an aircraft safely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And he says, the question that we can't come out and ask, but we're trying to find out is, can I sit next to you in the cockpit for a 5-hour flight across the country and still want to have dinner with you when we get to the hotel that we're all staying at?
It's a legit question.
That's a really good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. And if the answer is yes, then bring it on. We want you on the team.
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, someone's going to go, dude, did you hire Foster? Dude, I flew with him last week.
It's the truth. It is.
Yeah, that daggum Jules suggested that we bring Foster Crazy Butt in here. Wow. And then Jules' name goes with that, you guys. You get where I'm coming from? You feel me knocking? So when we refer people, be careful about who you refer. Make sure you have a relationship. Oh, let me get close to the screen. Relationship with that person. There you go, Dana. And that is why we're here, guys. There are a component. When you get out, now, you guys, make sure you go to southlakefocusgroup.com. And before the show is over, I'll mention it to you again, because you folks in New York, you folks in France, you folks in Belgium, you folks on the West Coast, I'm one of these guys anyway on the West Coast. So you can join Southlake Focus Group. Thanks, Maz. You can join Southlake Focus Group. We are hybrid. We are Zoom, and you can meet in person. Now,
that's a very good point.
I want to give a shout out to Polly Malloy, my buddy from up in Chicago. She flew down here to join us at Southlake Focus Group. She is actually still in town. She didn't go home until Sunday. So, Polly, have a good time. We're going to try to give you a Texas accent while you're down here. I'm sorry, that's kind of what happened. But guys, Southlake Focus Group has been around a long time, and it's one of the premier, if not the premier group in job search down here in DFW. That's what I'm trying to say. And DFW seems to be the most saturated with job search help in the United States. Now, I made it a point to get nosy and find out what's going on in New York, what's going on in Florida, what's going on in LA. We used to have a workshop that we put together, me and Rex Sowett and Gail Houston, Gail Bridgman, and a lot of us with the old workshop network. We had a workshop out in Thousand Oaks, California, and it was wonderful for a number of years. And then everybody got a job. It was cool.
That is awesome.
Isn't that cool?
It really is. I love to hear that. And Janet did tell me that that individual came in. She said that she's been good friends with her because, they've been going to Southlake Focus Group for a while, and that she just surprised everybody and walked through the door. She told me that yesterday.
Everybody go check out. This is very important. You can find out there's a lot of groups like Southlake Focus Group, kind of like Southlake Focus Group. Nobody matches Frisco Connect and Southlake Focus Group in its intensity and its effect on the environment. But guys, of course, go check out careerdfw.org. That is the Graham Central Station of finding out where stuff is.
Yeah.
Of course, Southlake Focus Group is in there.
Grand Central Station.
Isn't that? You can find out about, things like the pit crew. Somebody mentioned the pit crew a while ago. Pit
Yeah.
crew is practice interview team. They will help you practice the interview. You got one coming up. And in this network, when you go to Southlake Focus Group, you're going to find out about all these components that I'm always talking about, guys. Me, Mez, Dana, Jules, Judy, wonderful, wonderful people. Now, there's some shout outs that I want to give, and then I'm going to shut up and let Dana and Jules talk a little bit more. But you know what? In Southlake Focus Group, you will meet Charlie Zinger. Charlie Zinger has been a recruiter for a long time. Charlie is a wonderful example of where you guys need to go and who you need to talk to when you need some help. He will help you with your resume. He will connect you with certain people. Charlie is a talent acquisition leader for years and years, like me and Dana. And hey, that's part of the network. Judy, Jude, Wardle, Wardle, guys. Especially if you're anywhere in and around healthcare, you want to connect with Judy Wardle and Jules Ryckebusch. Now, I'm going to do Jules is his first name. I'm going to let him do
Man,
the
that's a
other
lot of
part.
J's. Judy, Jules, Janet.
That's right.
You'll meet Karam Malik. He handles all of the volunteers at Southlake Focus Group. When you get to Southlake Focus Group, you might choose to be a part of the volunteer network. And there are people that greet people that are coming in. And y'all, the volunteers seem to drop out. They seem to get jobs. And I think it's because when people are coming in the door, they're the first ones they get to meet everybody coming in the
Yeah,
door. You
they
know,
do. They
it's
do.
awesome. Go, Dana. It sounds like you're about to tell us something.
Well, I was just going to remind everybody that even if you are volunteering, don't forget to give back. Once you've taken a job or accepted a job, don't forget the people that have helped you along the way,
Uh-huh.
and continue to check in with Foster. Give back, even though you're working full time and may not be able to volunteer full time. Still stay in touch and see how you can help with the community.
Pay it
Uh,
forward. Yeah.
yeah, pay it
Oh
forward.
yeah.
Exactly. That's so important. These people, like I said, Foster is, foregoing a normal salary job to serve in this community, and so it really means a lot
Yep.
when you do your part and help give back to the community. It's a great way to serve others and be a salt and a light in the hands and feet of Jesus.
That is exact. Oh boy, you hit the nail on the head there.
That-
I like to get out and do this stuff, and it's because I'm not the prettiest thing in the world, but guys, I will.
Stop.
I will help you any way that I can. And Jules is the same way. Judy, it goes on and on and on. I want to give a shout out to Mike Ray. I want to give a shout out to Henry Jordan. All of these people are part of Southlake Focus Group and are examples of what you will meet when you go to Southlake Focus Group or Frisco
Exactly.
Connect. Y'all might want to go check out friscoconnect.org.
They're
Uh,
great. They're all great.
the first Tuesday of every month. We're at Frisco Connect. And
And
so,
Foster,
yeah,
where can
go.
where can everybody go to look up when these meetings are and where they're located?
Let me throw it out again. Oh, there's Maz just put it in there.
careerdfw.org. Yep.
CareerDFW.org has got it all happening there. Guys, I want to remind you, all across the nation are our listeners. You guys that are listening right now, y'all all over the place, and I don't blame you. You might be in Idaho. We actually had a group in Meridian, Idaho for a while. But you know what? Go check out careerusa.org as well. Now, I know it infers when I say USA, it infers that, hey, maybe I can go to Career USA and find out where groups are in New York and Chicago and all that stuff. Yes, that's what it is, guys. CareerUSA.org. Jeff Morris, our friend and founder of CareerDFW.org, years ago, Jeff and I started putting together these websites. You will, if you are, hey, Neil Isaacs, if you are from East Lansing, Michigan, check out careerusa.org. Now, you also, because I don't bring it up, and Dana going to fuss at me if I don't,
You
uh,
better.
search
I was going to
SEARCH
bring it up.
the number 4 and the letter UINC.com. Let me tell you again. Search SEARCH, the number 4 and the letter UINC.com. Thank you, Mez. Mez just put it
Yeah.
in the chat, guys. there are jobs that are posted all over the place there, and they're posted by people that we know. So we know who's after these jobs. And yeah, we got to do the apply online, but you probably won't find any apply online on Search for You, because me and Jules and Judy and Charlie and Dana and all of us, we got to put Mez in there too, because Mez has a heavy impact on this network. And guys, that is where we post those jobs, and you know who it is. And if you see a job on Search for You, you might want to reach out to Foster and say, hey, Foster, I know you know this person, or you're acquainted with this person at the very least. And let's talk about this job, and I can help you connect. That's what I do for a living, guys. I help you guys connect with people that are already inside of these companies.
Yep.
Neil Isaacs can attest to that.
Oh, yeah.
Neil's trying to get down here. It's too cold up there in East Lansing, Michigan, and he's trying to get down here where it's a little bit warmer. And that's going to I guarantee you that's going to happen, and it'll probably happen expeditiously. Dana, that's my big word for the day.
That was a pretty big one for you, Foster. But I'm going to give you the credit. And people, please, all of our family out there listening, please remember that Foster has numerous companies he is working with, numerous recs that he works on. So if you see any positions on Search for You, please reach out to Foster. Let him know if you're a good fit. Also, organizations, Foster brings his executive level experience to the table, his networking skills to the table every day. So if you have any openings and you would like someone to truly take the reins and fill that position for you, reach out to Foster. He has very reasonable rates, especially in this economy, and he works with so many people. He's got such a network built up. You won't go wrong. Reach out to Foster and have him work your job. It will make a difference.
Me and Jules know a whole lot of people. You companies need to be reaching. You need to be reaching out to us, guys. And Debbie just said a good thing. Jeff Morris also runs a North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. We cannot forget that. North Dallas Plano is a few people over there, Jules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they meet right before our show. They meet at 9:30 on Fridays, and they also meet on Zoom and in person as well. Go ahead, Jules. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna follow up on the volunteer thing. So I would ask everyone that does come out to Southlake Focus Group, please consider volunteering, because when you help others, you help yourself. So in the process of me landing, when I came through, it only came up a couple times, but it's the definite interview question that of, oh, well, you left Stryker in this state, and now it's 6 months later. What have you been doing with your time? And being able to, I said I volunteer at this, career transition group that helps people with this and that, resumes, etc.
Yeah.
So when I landed at J&J, there was one of my coworkers who he wasn't really happy. He'd been there 5 years and he wanted to go somewhere else. And he pulled me aside and said, hey, can you help me with my resume? And now he's head of the knee robotics program for Medtronic. So if anyone needs a connection at Medtronic, I've got one, so, but helping other people, just, you get out of yourself and it pays back, tenfold. It's
it does.
The best thing you do. It really does.
Such a good feeling to help other people. Oh my gosh.
It is. Bless you, Dana. I just heard you sneeze.
Sorry. Excuse me.
No, sorry. We don't need any sorry. That happens. Boy, that's something that I don't want to do right now. I just had that surgery in my belly. And that's
no sneezing, Foster. No sneezing.
Laughing and sneezing and coughing. Oh my God. Anyway, but this is really, really good for you guys to know the components of what we're always talking about. We're going to have Jules back. Another date as well, because Jules has a radio voice, and Jules is really, really good at this. He's dedicated his life, guys, to helping. Now, Jules is the one person I would say should write a book about retirement. If anybody retired and did the right thing the right way, Jules enjoys his retirement. He gets to help.
Yes, I
do.
At
the same time, he and his wife get a chance to get out there and make it happen, and Jules, man, you're one of my superheroes. And it's cool because I met a whole lot of superheroes at Southlake Focus Group. You guys come out to Southlake Focus Group, you will meet a superhero. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, Jules, we want to thank Jules because he served in our military, and we know how important that is.
Thank you, Jules.
Now, Dana, Jules was in one of those sardine cans. He was.
We call it a submarine.
It was in a, it
I
was
was
in a
like, I'm so
submarine.
confused right now.
I don't think I'm claustrophobic, but I don't think I could do that.
No,
But
I'm claustrophobic. I would,
but I got a
everywhere and die.
lot of respect for in military anyway.
I do too.
But
I do too.
definitely that, because Jules, I get to ask Jules questions about nerdy stuff. I'm a nerd, and I don't have a problem admitting that. And I get a chance to ask Jules about that. Jules, one of his hobbies is microphones and sound. So we're doing pretty good right now. We can hear Jules loud and clear. I can't help it that Jules is better looking than me. That's just the way Mama did it. But guys, come out to Southlake Focus Group. I want you guys to connect with Jules Ryckebusch. Spell Ryckebusch for us, Jules.
Yeah, it's ready for this. It's Ryckebusch, Ryckebusch. So, and you're listening to me on a microphone that I built. There you go.
Check that.
Sounded like a little bit like a podcaster that tells creepy ghost stories.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to close real quick with one final job hunting thing. And I really appreciate you having me on the show, and definitely would love to come back.
Oh yeah,
we had a woman come through, and she landed a C-suite job at a pretty large company in DFW that does pre-processed or prepackaged foods.
Yeah.
And she spoke to our group because she was actually out recruiting for people, and she said, look, I came into Southlake Focus Group. I didn't know everything I needed to do, and then she says, so you guys got my resume together, it was great, but then I still didn't land a job. And then I went to the LinkedIn training and all that, and I got my LinkedIn profile up to speed, and I didn't get a job. And then I did some information interviews, and I got some interviews, and I didn't get a job. And then I had some more interviews, and I didn't get a job. And then I got a job. So, there's all these ups and downs of all of it. Just stay even keeled.
Roller coaster,
and you mentioned it, Foster. It's not if you land, it's when you land.
Oh, you're going to land.
You will.
You're going to land, because if you don't land, you got to put up with Foster. So you believe me, you're going to get out of there. Jules and Julie and I have fun. Dana, we have so much fun in our breakout networking rooms. It should be against the law, but it ain't. So you guys, the number one thing that you guys can do when you are in job, you found yourself in job transition, is get out of the house. Get out, come out to Southlake Focus Group, come out to Frisco Connect, come out to North Dallas Plano Career Networking Group. Guys, that's what we're here for. And there was a time, probably about 2010, 2011, we had 80 networking groups here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Isn't that crazy? Well,
how many would you say now?
We probably still have about 30, 35, because, COVID killed us pretty good.
Yeah.
I hear music, Dana.
Whoop, whoop. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Yay.
See you next week.
Same time.
Thank you.
Same Longhorn channel.
Oh, gosh.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County. Joco Community